Right, today I thought I'd show you some activities using motion paths, triggers and action buttons in PowerPoint. I get lots of people writing into Communication for All or to me on different websites and asking how things are created. So I thought I'd give you a few quick pointers and then you can go away and see what you can do with it. I'm going to start with a letter formation activity that I've made lots and lots of times in different ways. Firstly, I set up my PowerPoint. I'm using this PowerPoint template today and I've got the title here. On the second slide I've got these letter buttons which you could make within the PowerPoint using the shapes and writing in the shapes, but I've made these as JPEGs because not everybody has Sassoon infant font installed on their computer, which is the perfect font for this. So these are picture versions, and these show the straight F and the straight K. I do have looped versions if people prefer. I'll make these available on the blog for you to download so you can have a go yourself. I've also made large format Sassoon letters as pictures. These are PNGs so that they have a clear background, but it's for the same purpose. Not everybody has Sassoon font installed, and it means everybody can use these. Now, my first stage here is that I do not want the mouse to click through the slides. I want the whole thing to be worked by action buttons. So I'm going to go to the animations tab here, and I'm using 2007. I use 2010 sometimes as well, and I've also made them in 2003, so it'll work whichever version you've got. You just need to get round which version you're using the way you usually do. So here in the animations tab I'm choosing a slide transition. I quite like that, but I think it's too fast, so I'm going to set it to slow. And the most important thing is I'm going to take the tick out of this box that says on mouse click, and then I'm going to apply to all. And what this does is when you run it as a slideshow, view it as a slideshow, you can click as much as you like on this slide, it's not going to move. It needs an action button or a hyperlink, whatever you want to call it, to move it on. So let's do that now. Go to Insert and find Shapes. I know that action buttons are in different places on different versions, but I'm sure you'll be able to find them. Choose the action button that goes forward and draw one on your slide, and it's up to you where you go. I want this to go to the next slide, so hyperlink to next slide, that's correct. I don't really like that flat black appearance, so I'm going to go to the drawing tools here. I'm going to click this menu and choose something that looks a little bit more 3D, and then I'm going to change the colour of it because I'm not really keen on that colour there. Let's have this nice blue, that'll be fine. And now when I view it as a slideshow, again, click anywhere on the slide, it doesn't move. When I go to the action button, the arrow cursor will turn to a finger pointer and I can click and it will move through to the slide. Now, I'm not going to put one on the corner here because all of these individual ones are going to be action buttons to their corresponding letter slide. And this is slightly different. I'm going to right click and choose hyperlink, and it'll come up with a box like this, and sometimes you'll see it and it'll go to existing file or web page. I don't want that to happen. I want it to go to a place in the document, and I wanted to go to slide 3 because that is where I've put the letter A. And I press OK, and again now if I view it as a slideshow, there's the arrow cursor. It's not changing, you can't click on anything, but if I go to the A it changes to a finger pointer and I can click through. And you can see I've already put some bits on here. I've inserted the letter, which is, I said, is a PNG file. I'll make the whole alphabet available for you to download on the blog later. I've made a little green circle. This is like a green for go light, and this is just to show you where the pencil has to start for letter formation. And then I've got this little pencil clip art which is available on my Posterous blog. I'll put a link to it on the Technostories blog. It's just a simple little thing. In the past I've used animated ones. This is a static one. It doesn't really make a lot of difference. As we're doing the I've also put a little apple here on this flag for for apple. If you're doing Jolly Phonics, you might like to put ants, for ants on there, or the corresponding symbol for Jolly Phonics. I'm just putting this for the initial sound. You don't really have to put anything. Now, when I've made this activity in the past, I've put little instructions and action buttons and little effects on it. I'm not going to do all that straight away now, but I will do it in a little while. Most important thing for me is to show you how to make the motion path to get the letter formation. Now, quite often children will discover motion paths for themselves, and they think that it's great to sort of get pictures to whizzle over the place and do silly things. And it can be a bit annoying, but motion paths are really useful if you know how to use them. So, here's my picture. I'm highlighting it, custom animation, add effect, motion paths, and I want to draw a custom path, and I'm going to choose a curve, only because I think it looks neater than doing it with a scribble. Now I'm warning you now, my mouse has been a bit temperamental and you need to be very careful with your mouse clicking when doing this, but we'll have a good go. I'm starting at the tip of the pencil. It's important for now, but I'll show you that this has to change in a minute, and I'll explain why. I'm moving the mouse around the letter, single clicking every time I want to produce a curve. When I get to the top here, I click back on myself and go down. Now you see double click there and made it a bit short, so we'll have another go. This is just a problem with my mouse, so don't worry about it. It does take a little bit of time to get used to drawing a custom path though. So here we go again. Also, I might take a little bit more time if I was doing it not on this tutorial. I am rushing, as you can see. That's still not right. Oh, let's try third time lucky. I hope we can do it. Motion path, draw custom path, and a curve. There we go, up. Then double click at the end. Now, I hope you saw that then. When it previewed the effect, it wasn't actually on the A and it was very quick. So I'm going to change the speed here to very slow. And then I'm going to have to adjust the motion path. And the reason for this is, although I need to do it for the tip of the pencil, I know that really the motion path needs to be about a third of the way up or half the way up this little illustration. So I'm going to just click on that green bit and move it and see if I've got it in the right place. There we go, pretty much in the right place. I've done this before, you might take a little more time to do it. That's looking fine, but I only want it to draw the shape of the A when you click the pencil. So this needs a trigger. Right click here and go to timing, and it's got a triggers option there. You can see that the pencil has come up as picture 3. So I want to start the effect on the click of picture 3 and press OK. And now when I go to view it as a slideshow, again I can click anywhere, nothing will happen, but when I click the pencil, it activates the trigger and that's what happens. Now, I did say earlier you might want a few little instructions on here with text boxes, so I'm going to do that now. I'm going to insert a text box just up here. I'm going to say click pencil and see what happens. You can put what you like. I don't really like the Arial font, so I'm going to change it for Sassoon. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Now, you could have that just written there on the screen anyway, or you might want to bring it in as a custom animation. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to have an entrance. I'm going to have it descend down. I don't need to activate on a click, so I'm going to do it after. So as soon as the slide transition finishes, that will come down. The other thing you're going to need is you're going to need action buttons going back to your main menu of letters, okay, or going forward so you can click through the letters in order. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy this one that was on the first slide and put it down bottom here. So if you want to just move through the alphabet, you just click there. And then I'm going to make another button, so insert, go to shapes. This one is the one that goes back, or you can put it to home, it doesn't really matter. The home one defaults as the first slide, which you're going to have to change because we don't want it to go to the first slide, we want it to go to a different slide. So I'm going to click where it says slide ... and I'm going to choose this slide with all the letters on. Okay. I've just put it on top of that blue one because I wanted it to be the same size. I'm now going to try and get it to the same sort of style, so I used this intense effect. It was a bit 3D and I used this colour. I'm going to put that there so you can return to the menu or you can move on. Now what I would do then for adding a new slide is, rather than just insert a new slide, I'd highlight the slide here, I'd press Ctrl and D to duplicate it, I'd remove my animation of the motion path, I'd move these out of the way, and I'd just get rid of that and put in the next letter and put in a corresponding picture here. And that's how you make a writing formation PowerPoint. Thanks for watching.